Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are getting into the spirit of Halloween with this very cute little ghost pup. He's super fun and has a few elements to him, so if you're looking for a nice challenge, let's get into it. The materials list will be up on the screen, so feel free to pause that if you need. Today we are starting off with some core carded wool. This will be the base for our ghosty pup. I'll give you the measurements. The measurements as we go along will be up on the screen for you as well. Now I just want to say a quick hello and welcome back to the regular subscribers, and if you're new here to the channel, welcome. Here we like to get some cozy and creative vibes going, so feel free to like and subscribe for more tutorials just like this one. So we are rolling the carded wool and folding in the top. Just trying to tightly roll it together and grabbing our multi-needle tool, we are going to start felting that into place, making sure that we're keeping the shape. And be careful of fingers. If you are a beginner to needle felting, it is always great to use some finger guards, which will save you from getting stabbed by the needle. So we're making a cylindrical shape here just for the body of our Halloween ghosty pup. Also folding in the other end. I will give you a measurement of this soon. So just felting that into place gently with our multi-needle tool. Using our multi-needle tool, we're just going to felt around the body of our Halloween ghosty pup. We want the body to be somewhat firm, because he'll need to hold the head of the ghost pup. So we'll do a quick measurement here. And again, measurements will be up on the screen for you. So 4.5 inches approximately. Now to firm up the body of our ghosty pup, we will be using a 38 star needle, but you can use any needle that you are comfortable with. I'm just using a 38 star needle here. So we will felt along the body. It will take a little bit of time, approximately 10 minutes to felt all the way along, but it will be worth it in the end because we're wanting to achieve a firm shape for the body of our pup. So I'll put on some nice cozy type music. You felt along with me, and I'll see you soon. hope you enjoyed felting along with me there. Now we're just going to double check the thickness of the body. One way to check is if you're putting your thumb or your finger, place that down on the body. If it bounces back, that means that it's firm enough. If you lose your finger or your thumb in the wool, that means that it's still a little bit loose, the fibers, and we need to keep felting. Just giving a quick measurement here, it's approximately 4 inches long and 4.5 inches round there. Now I'm leaving his base white. You're more than welcome to use any color you like for your ghost pup, but because it's underneath his ghost sheet, no one will see it, so you're more than welcome to leave it white like me. Now we'll move on to his legs. I'm using a chestnut carded wool here. I got this one from the wool room, but you can choose any color you like for your pup. We're using approximately 6 inches of carded wool there for his leg and 2 inches wide. So we're going to gently but firmly rolling up the wool. We're just wanting to eliminate any air bubbles, so just firmly rolling. And grabbing our 38 star needle or your needle of choice, just felting down a little bit on his leg. So rolling and felting and rolling and felting until we make a leg shape. We will also fold in the edge just a centimeter or 2 and felting that into place as well. That will be the bottom of his leg. So just felting that down, making sure that you're not felting too hard because the fibers will intertwine with the mat. We want to eliminate that. So just a quick measurement of his leg here. We're looking at 3 inches long, and you can felt a little bit more on his leg just to get all the fibers in. You can even cut away with scissors any of the fuzzy parts, as we like to call in felting, of the wool that might not be in place around the edges. So you're welcome to do that. I'm just felting the leg a little bit more before we attach it to the body soon. So again, if you're enjoying this tutorial so far, make sure to like and subscribe because it really does encourage me to make tutorials just like this one. So really do take your time on felting away on the leg. It's not a race. Needle felting is quite therapeutic once you decide not to rush it so much, because if you do rush you can make a bit of mistakes and also you can stab your finger accidentally too. So you're better off to grab a nice cup of tea or a drink of choice and just felt away and enjoy the process. So I'm liking the way the leg is looking. I'm going to now repeat that process for his second leg. You can felt along with me while I put on some music for you. now that we have 2 little legs for our ghosty pup, it is now time to attach them to his body. So just having a look of where the legs will be sitting, I want it to stick out at the front a little bit, so I'm going to felt in the top wispy parts and leaving the bottom of the leg all the way down unfelted, so it's not attached to the body anywhere else, just at the top so the legs stick out a little bit, because at the end we'll want the effect of the legs hanging out the bottom of the ghost pup's sheet. So that's the look we're going for there. Just seeing where the other leg will be going and then felting that into place with your 38 star needle. So he's coming along quite nicely. We've still got a little bit more to go because we need to work on his head, and we'll also go through the process of creating a clay nose today. So I create dog noses with clay, polymer clay, and I'll go through my process for that shortly. Now we're going to move on to his face. First off, we're going to start with his nozzle, and we're going to grab some black carded wool, approximately 4 inches long or 10 centimeters, and 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters in width. So again, like we did with the legs, we're going to roll this in. Keep rolling, making sure that the air bubbles, there's not too many air pockets there, so just firmly rolling that and getting our 38 star needle and felting that into place. Just felting along just gently because we're just wanting to keep the shape. And then once we're happy with that, we're going to fold in the ends and felt them into place. Again, we want the nose to be rounded, so don't felt too hard, otherwise you may lose the shape to begin with. So just felting around the edges, making sure it's all nice and smooth. We will add some chestnut colored wool to the bottom half of his nose, but again, if your ghost dog is a different color, you're more than welcome to skip that step if you like. It's totally up to you. It's the freedom of needle felting and being creative. So his nozzle is approximately 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters in length, and the thickness is just under 1 inch, just to give you a quick measurement there. So adding the chestnut wool, just having a quick look of what it will look like there. So we're going to felt that onto the black, but again, just felting quite gently and felting around the bottom. So the chestnut wool comes up halfway up the nose, as you can see there, so keeping that line just in the middle there and then felting around to attach the rest of the wool. And take your time with that. Once you get to the bottom of underneath the nose, I should say, again, just felting lightly, because if we felt too hard, the fibers might go through the wool on the other side and we'll see some chestnut brown. So we want to make sure that does not happen here. As we're felting along, I just want to pop in a friendly reminder that you're welcome to create and sell these, but please remember to credit me and tag me on your socials. My tutorials are original creations and I really appreciate your support, and I also love seeing your makes on Instagram and other socials, so thank you very much for that. There we go, his snout is looking pretty good. Just having a comparison check here. Yep, looking pretty good to me. So we'll get some more black carded wool now to create the rest of his head. So go ahead and grab some black carded wool or any color you choose for your ghost dog. So the measurement for his head will be approximately 4.5 inches long and 2 inches wide. So we're going to start rolling your carded wool up into a ball, so folding in the edges as we're rolling. So you can see here, just gently, and then folding that in. So it kind of looks like an oval at the moment. Using our 38 star needle, we will take our time to felt around the edges, felting it into a ball shape. Now just keep felting around, and I'll put on some music for you while you felt along with me. Now that we've felted his head, gonna double check how the nose will look once it's attached. So I'm happy with that. Having a look there, and I'll grab a measuring tape to give you the measurement for his head. Approximately 4 inches or 10 centimeters around. So we'll go ahead and attach the nozzle to his face. Just using our 38 star needle to attach the base of the nose to their head. And again, we're just felting lightly, making sure that the fibers do intertwine and attach, but not too hard, as we don't want to lose the shape of the nose around the base. So yeah, if you're enjoying this tutorial, please let me know, drop a comment below. This is a really fun Halloween tutorial that I have put together for you guys, so I love to hear from you and see how you went with this. So now that we've attached his nose, we're going to just add a little bit more black carded wool around his head. This is optional. I wanted his head to be just slightly larger. It also does cover up the joins around the nose too, so if you wanted to, you could just grab a small slither of black carded wool and just place it around the base of the nose. So this Ghost Pup's face is a little bit larger than my original, so just please keep that in mind if you would like to have a smaller face instead. If you have placed black carded wool around his head, let's just felt around with our 38 star needle to smooth his face. So take your time with felting the fibers into place, making a smooth effect for his face. Now if you did add some extra carded wool like me, I'll give you a quick measurement here. 5 inches around his face. And now that the nose is attached, it is 2 inches or 5 centimeters long. He's looking good. We'll now attach his head to the base of his body. So make sure that you're happy with the placement of his head before you start felting away. So we'll grab our 38 star needle here and felt the base of the body into the head, attaching the fibers with the needle and making sure that they are intertwined and not loose. We want to take our time with attaching the head to the body because we don't want it to fall off. So just felt around the base of the head, making sure that it is quite sturdy. I'll speed up the process here as we felt along. Right, now that we've done that part, we are going to get his ghost sheet. I have a nice soft A4 sized felt sheet here. So just to give you a measurement, it is approximately 30 centimeters in length. So we are going to wrap this around our ghost pup, and then we'll insert a small hole so his nose can stick through. So take your time to see how you would like the ghost sheet to fall on your pup. I'd like it to have a little bit of a space at the bottom so his legs are sticking out a little bit. And then with just a fine texture, I have created a little dot to see where his nose will stick through. Grabbing some nice sharp craft scissors, making sure that the hole isn't too big. That's what it's looking like there. I'll just cut it a little bit more. It's literally just only to fit his nozzle through, so that's what it looks like. And now we'll pop the nose through. There we go. It looks cute when it's starting to stick through the ghost sheet. Very cute already. So now we'll see how the sheet is going to flow with the rest of our ghost pup. Take your time with folding in the edges, front, back and sides. For me, I just wanted to make sure that his whole body is covered except for the front of his feet there. So once you're happy with that, I am needle felting the felt sheet around the base of his nose into place so it won't move. Now we're going to move on to his eyes. Roughly map out exactly where you'd like the eyes to go. I'll be using just a marker here to mark out where the eyes will roughly go, because we'll use our owl next to poke a hole through the felt sheet and through the head so it is secure. So just gently placing the owl through the felt sheet and the head and just putting that through there, leaving that in there for the moment because we'll grab some clear craft glue and 5mm black plastic eyes, just like this one. Alternatively, if you like, you could also needle felt the eyes in place. So you could use some black carded wool and make the eyes yourself. Totally up to you and your preference. Now that we've got one eye in, we're going to repeat the process for the second eye. And make sure you give your glue enough time to dry once you place both eyes in. As it's wet, it can still move around quite a bit, so just keep that in mind because we want the eyes to stay in their place. Now here comes the fun part. We are going to create his little nose. As you can see here, I've used polymer clay to create this nose, so I will go through my process with you. So I just have some black polymer clay here. I'm using some aluminium foil as well, so it is easy to transfer into the oven. Now we're just taking off a little bit of polymer clay from the corner around a pinch. So we're rolling that round with our fingers. But first I'll give you a quick measurement of our nose. It will be around about 0.5 of an inch there, so just keeping that in mind, or 1.5 centimeters wide at the top. So rolling that around with our fingers, we want to create a circle, as you can see here, and then pinching the bottom into a soft triangle point. So just showing you there, I'm just patting the top of the nose to make it into a soft triangle shape. We're wanting the nose to be somewhat flat as well, so don't make it too thick. That is what we're aiming for here. So just pressing it lightly down on the aluminium foil. Now, I'm no clay artist, so I'm just using my owl here to create a hole for the nostril and then a line down. Sorry for the lighting, but yes, so we'll create a hole and then a line down the side at an angle. So we'll repeat that process for the other side, and then a line down there, as you can see. And then just pushing in the sides so there's no extra clay that has been stretched out. And just very lightly using our owl to create a line down the middle of the nose. Again, I know it's a little bit hard to see in this lighting, and being black, it doesn't help, but you get the gist. That's how I created his nose. I'm just having a look to see what it will look like, if it suits him. It's always good to double check these things. Only hold the clay lightly, as we haven't baked it just yet. So I'm putting it back down on the aluminium foil, putting it in the oven only for a couple minutes on a very low temperature, as polymer clay doesn't need a high heat to cure, so please keep that in mind. Now let's do his little ghost sheet. So this is the way I am going to make the ghost sheet sit on my ghosty pup. You can go any way you like, but I am using my 38 star needle, and I'm going to felt in each side of the ghost sheet at the front, so they're folded in. As you can see, you can still see his little feet at the front there. That's the look that I'm going for. So just felting that round the sides, particularly just making sure that the sheet is staying in place once you've felted it, otherwise you might need to felt a little bit more. And then folding in the back. Don't worry too much about the felting creases, because it just looks like it's part of the sheet crease, so it honestly looks the part. So just felting that into place at the back. As you can see, his whole body is covered there apart from his little paws. So pretty simple but effective. So if you'd like a more circular shape for around his head, just felt in the top of the felt sheet there. Now we are going to move on to his little ears. So because I was going for a little Doberman pup look, his ears are going to stick upwards, but you could make any type of dog style you like. You could have his ears down, or you could have them to the side. You could really create something cute with this. So here I have 3 inches long and 1 inch wide black carded wool that I am working with. With one ear at a time, I'm using my multi-needle tool to start felting down the wool, making sure that we're not felting too hard. And then we're going to fold in the sides with our 38 star needle into a triangular point, as you can see here. Again, I'm felting at an angle so the fibers don't get too messed up in the mat. Otherwise, you might find it a bit hard to pick up your ear once you're done with it. So just felting that down. Once we've felted that, we are going to cut a little bit of the flyaways at the bottom. I'll give you a quick measurement here so you know what we're aiming for. It's just over 1 inch long and 1 inch wide at the bottom and 1/2 inch up the top of the pup's ear. So we're going to repeat that process for the other ear as well. I'll put on some music and I'll see you soon. Right, he's coming together quite nicely now that we've felted our 2 ears. Going to use our 38 star needle to felt the base of the ears onto the ghosty pup's head, creating an illusion that the ears are sticking out of the ghost sheet. So take your time felting around the base of the ear with your singular needle. We have completed the majority of this tutorial, which is fantastic. We still need to add his nose and create his little jack-o'-lantern he'll be holding there. So congratulations on making it this far into the tutorial. We've still got a bit to go, so let's get into it. So now we are going to get some thin craft wire to use as his jack-o'-lantern trick or treat handle. So approximately 3 inches in length. We are going to now grab our owl and poke a hole through his muzzle all the way to the other side. So approximately in the bottom middle, so it looks like that he's holding the jack-o'-lantern handle. So we're just putting that through just gently and then bending it down into a half circle shape. We're going to leave that there. Now, just going back to the nose, this is what it looks like after the oven. It's looking great. So we're going to actually use some super glue here. You can use super glue, but in very small amounts. We want to use this extremely sparingly. So just a tiny dot at the back and pressing his nose on there. Hold it there for a little bit because it will need to establish itself, and then we can take our finger off. He's looking very cute. All that's left is his little pumpkin. So let's go ahead and make that. I'm grabbing some orange carded wool, and it is approximately 4 inches in length and 3 inches in width. So if you've seen my ghost pumpkin tutorial, you'll know that how I make pumpkins here, so feel free to look at that tutorial as well after this one because it's a fun little project. But for now, we are folding in the edges of our pumpkin to make a 2-inch round shape. Using our 38 star needle, I am going to felt in the middle to make sure the fibers stay in place to keep that pumpkin shape there. Just felting lightly. We don't want to felt too hard. The pumpkin is going to be somewhat soft, so it's easy enough to make the lines in the pumpkin a bit later with our brown carded wool. So around the pumpkin should be approximately 5 inches, just to give you a quick measurement there. We are going to now grab our brown carded wool. This is a dark brown carded wool. Getting just a thin line, so I'm twizzling that with my fingers and then wrapping it around the pumpkin, going to the base of the pumpkin and felting that all the way around and repeating the process. I'm going to go opposite so it looks like a hot cross bun. Felt that into place and then fill in lines on the other side as well. So I'll put on some music while you felt along with me. Now that we've felted in the ribs of the pumpkin, it's looking quite nice. We are just going to add a little bit more brown carded wool right in the middle to create an illusion that it is his trick-or-treat jar that he's holding. So just adding little bits of brown carded wool as we go. It really depends on the look that you're wanting here. So just felt that in nicely there with your 38 star needle. So now we will start to attach the pumpkin to the handle. We will be using our owl to create some holes in the pumpkin and then using a little bit of craft glue or super glue, just a very tiny bit if you're using super glue, at each end of the handle. Now we want to press the pumpkin onto the end of the handles there and hold on to it for a couple minutes just to make sure that it stays in place there. So there we go. He is actually finished. We have now created our Halloween Ghost Pup. He is so cute. He has a few challenging parts to him, so please let me know if you enjoyed this tutorial. Something different. We had some clay art as well and a little bit of wire, so I hope everyone has a wonderful Halloween, gets into the spirit of it all, and of course, stay spooky and creative until next time, my friends. Thank you. Bye.